Hey scrapbook friends, it's Nicole and I'm super excited to be able to show you the project recipe for the new Autumn Cottage collection from Creative Memories. This is our fall collection. It's full of rich, vibrant colors, which I just love. This layout mostly is going to work if you have vertical photos. I designed it for 6 vertical photos. If you don't have vertical photos, if you mostly have horizontal, it would also work really nicely if you were to turn the 2 pages horizontally. I think in that case, I would scoot these over, not leave this big gap in the middle, but I think the same kind of design, kind of the offset, works really, really well. But I know that because we all take pictures with our phones, a lot of us forget to turn our phone sideways, so we end up with a lot of vertical photos. So I hope that this will work for you for that. So I did put some little photo sizes. Because of the way this is designed, you are going to need to crop your photos down to 3.5 by 6. But hopefully that won't be too hard. So I want to show you kind of the basics of how this layout works, and then we're going to look at the paper and choose the papers that are going to work best. I'm going to show, this is the first sample that I made. I sent to Creative Memories for approval. They said, sure, that'll work as a project recipe. Go ahead and move forward with it. But I don't know if I'm going to use this one as my final or whichever one we do today. So we'll have a little time to experiment. But what we're going to have is 2 base pages that are full pieces of designer paper, and then 2 other papers that we cut. And the kind of designer side, we're going to cut into these 6 mats. So you get 3 from each of the 2 papers. And then the reverse side, one of them is going to be the circles and the other is going to be the stripes. And then we're going to use the rest to punch some shapes using the fun new Gourd Time punch. This is a standalone punch. It punches 4 separate little pumpkins and squashes. You're also going to, of course, need a tape runner. I like permanent, but whichever one you like, permanent, repositional, that's fine. We're going to be using the medium circle and the green blade from the custom cutting system, and of course your mat. And then you'll need your 12-inch trimmer. And I am super excited. This is the first video I've been able to film using the new the new photo trimmer that's just come out. And I have played with it a little bit, but this will be my first actual layout creating with the new photo trimmer. So I'm going to put these away, and then I'm going to pull out the whole paper pack and talk about each of the different papers. I'll show you the papers that are in the pack, and then just kind of help me decide which other papers to use for the video final for this layout. So like I said, the name of the collection is Autumn Cottage. Of course, it now comes with the coordinating cardstock colors printed right on this cover sheet if you wanted to use cardstock, which you could. If you don't like the look of having like 2 different backgrounds, you could use 2 of the same. Creative Memories wanted me to use two separate so we can use all the patterns together. So that's what we're going to do. I love that this paper pack especially has one side that's very themed and very fall, and then the reverse side is almost a neutral. I mean, it's a neutral with a lot of personality, but it's going to work great for this particular layout where we use front and back. So these are the choices. I want you to pick your the ones you're going to cut the mats out of using the pattern side, I think, because I guess it doesn't matter, but that's what I'm going to do. We're going to do the pattern out of this, and then we'll decide the backgrounds. So we have the leaves, all the various leaves, got a little bit of the green, yellow, all the red colors, and then this orange kind of, it almost looks like somebody colored with a crayon or stucco. I don't know. It's almost a neutral, I think. I really like that one. We have the gourd. I love that the gourd has a little bit of the blue in it. I think blue makes this fall paper a little bit more interesting. And then we have another kind of this crayon color, but this one's more yellow. So you see there's kind of an orange one and a yellow one. I love this fall leaf paper, the trees. I grew up in Hawaii. Many of you know this about me, and we didn't have fall. Kind of have seasons all the time, but the trees didn't change color. And so I think that's because it's still kind of novel for me, even after, 35 years away from Hawaii. But I love the vibrancy and the bright colors of fall. I think that's part of why I love fall. I remember I went to New Hampshire a few years ago at the end of October, and several of my friends who live up there said, "Oh, it's such a shame that you're here at the end of October when the leaves aren't, they've lost all their color. They're not at peak." Meanwhile, I'm sitting in my rental car, like with my jaw hanging open at how absolutely stunningly gorgeous it was up there thinking it's probably a good thing I didn't come up when they were at peak, because after peak, like, it still blew my mind. So the back of this one is a yellow kind of a cable knit. It looks like, you know, like a little woven sweater. So I like that. I like that all of these have the good contrast between the front and back. I love the wood grain. And probably my least favorite paper in this collection is the back of the wood grain. I can't figure out what it is. It looks like apple seeds, like if you cut your apple horizontally, but it also looks like it's wood burned into wood. I don't really know what it is. And maybe I just, you know, if you don't understand something, you don't like it. That's probably my least favorite. And so I think I'd be more inclined to use this as a background page, the wood grain, because then I don't have to worry about the backside. That doesn't really appeal to me. We also have a plaid, of course, and this is a brown with a blue. And the reverse side is, again, that same kind of wash color scribble, but this is the blue. And so I like this. And with my sample, I use this paper with the gourd paper because it also had the blue in it. So those, I think, work nicely together. And then finally, we have the apple, kind of cross-cut apple. And that's what made me think that that other backside of the wood grain might be that, because it looks very similar. This would be fun if you were like had apple picking pictures or something. And then the back is the green kind of checkerboard. Okay, so those are the papers we have to choose from. And I know I want to use this one just to be a little bit different. So then I need to figure out which other one I think would go nicely next to it. And then which ones will work for the bases. So I kind of like, I don't want to use the green and the wood grain for my bases because I use those for the last ones. Maybe we'll use this orange as a base. And the wood grain, I actually think the wood grain would make a really nice kind of the stripe at the top and bottom. But I don't know about cutting gourds out of it. This might be better as a base. Maybe I do even though these are very similar, I think they're different enough that they could work. Or the plaid. No, I want to use this one. I want to use the wood grain. I'm gonna cut up the wood grain. Actually, maybe I'll cut the wood grain. I'm going to cut the wood grain and have that be the other mats. And then this little piece that I don't love will just be that stripe. And that's going to work great. And then, so these are the two I'm going to cut up. So then I want to use I'll use the yellow. Now this is going to be my half circles on the back, so I don't want to have the yellow. I think I'm going to go with the orange and the blue. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to make it work, and then we'll decide. It might be the original that I still send into Creative Memories because, you know, those are the colors I originally picked. But I love about project recipes that you can do them with any, you know, any combination of the papers from the collection. So I do have two cutting guides for you, and both of them start the same way. With our two papers that we're going to cut first the 4 by 6.5 inch mats, and you want to make sure that these are vertical. So in the direction that you want them. So I'm going to be cutting this way and this way, and then we'll cut the remaining pieces that will showcase the back side. So I'm going to set my two base pages to the side. And then we're going to cut, and I think I want this one to be the one with the circle. So for this one, you are going to need your 12-inch trimmer. And actually, I'm going to do something a little tricky. You don't have to do this, but because we are alternating these, I want to make sure that my cuts are exactly on. So I'm going to stack both of my papers in the direction that I want my cuts to be, so that it's the same. And then this will probably be easier for you to see. And then I'm going to stack them and turn it. I'm going to cut it at 6.5 inches. right here using my 12-inch trimmer, cutting together, cutting through both of them. Make sure you press down nice and hard. This is the extra piece that we're going to cut the rest out of. And then if I take these pieces and cut them again together at 4 inches twice, then I'll know that when I alternate these, they're going to fit exactly. So here's 4 inches. And here's 4 inches. I'm making sure that I've got them straight up on here so that they're aligned just right. So there I've got my mats. And so when I go to do my paper arranging, if I just take this one here and then these like this, I know that this is going to add 12 inches, even if my cuts aren't exactly right, you know, because sometimes we're off by just a smidge. All right, so these are going to be my mats, and I'm going to put them out of the way. Next, I'm going to take this paper that I didn't love, and we're going to cut 4 3/4 inch strips that are going to go above and beneath the mats on both sides. So the 1/4 inch on your Creative Memories trimmer, 3/4 inch, sorry, is basically almost to this edge where the lip is that lifts up. This first mark right here is a 1/2 inch. And then of course the 1 inch. So you want to come back, you know, 1 grid mark from the 1 inch line. So the 1 inch line is a little bit darker. And I know people don't like fractions, but I think this trimmer makes it so easy. So we're going to put it not on the darker line, but on the other line right there. And I'm going to cut 4 of these because they're going to go top and bottom of my my mats, my vertical mats. Okay, and then this piece we're going to have left to cut, to punch gourds out of. So then the next paper, so that was this one, all right? The 4 mats, 3 mats, 4 strips, and then we're going to be able to punch shapes. The remaining piece, this paper right here, we're going to be cutting some circles. So I'm going to pull out my cutting mat. And the first one I want to cut, I always like to cut the big one first. And this one we want to cut 1 big circle with this medium-sized circle. You know, if you have the custom cutting system, you know that there are 3 sizes of circle. We're using the middle one. And we're actually using the kind of the middle blade. The green goes in between the sizes of the green and the red. So we're going to cut this right here. And kind of try and put it, you know, fairly close to the side so you can be as frugal as possible with your paper. We're going to cut 1 of these on the outside with the green blade. And then we need 4 that are cut on the inside with the green blade. And you notice before I lift anything up, I kind of move this with my finger to make sure that it cut all the way through, because once you pick up the template, it's hard to reposition it again. So we'll do. All right, and then this little piece, we're going to cut some gourds, but we'll do that at the end. So the only other thing we need to do before we start assembling is taking this picture, this circle right here, and I guess I need to put a line on there to show that we're going to cut it. We're going to cut it in half. It is so easy with this trimmer to cut circles exactly in half. So if you look here at the top where the mat strip is, there's kind of those two raised sides that the track rides in, okay? If you line your paper up, and so mine, this has a little bit of a line. I want to keep it as straight as I want to have it, I don't want to have it at an angle. So I'm going to position this in here sideways because I want a top and bottom. But if you position the edge of your circle so that it's touching on both sides, like it sits in there. Actually, if you do it on the bottom, you can almost just let it fall in. Kind of let it fall into that valley. And I'm lining that up to make that straight. make sure that it's touching on both sides down here in this little valley at the bottom. And because this cutting line is right in the middle of the track, you know that this, if it's touching on both sides, is going to cut right in the middle of the circle. All right. So then you've got your two exactly the same pieces cut with your circle. And that's the end of our trimmer-ing. And so we'll move this out of the way and move the cutting guides out. And all we have left to do is assemble. And then we're going to decorate with some little punched gourds. Okay, so my base pages are going to be this blue and this orange. And then I'm going to do my mats. And I think I want the orange, where I have two orange, or two of the leaves to be on this blue, with the brown in the middle, and then the two brown on the orange, because I think that looks a little bit better. Okay, and then we'll take these strips. Because this has a little bit of a pattern, I too want to kind of see if I can align. They're not really going to align. But this one is going to be covered by the circle. These two look pretty similar. So I think I'm going to do these up on the top, and this will be down here. Okay. And then we're going to put this half circle is going to go over the top of this wooden strip, or this 3/4 inch strip. And then the circles kind of touch it. And then this goes on the bottom. And so you need enough space so that these fit, so that this circle doesn't go off the edge. So actually I'm going to pull my mat back out, because it's got the measuring, and that's how we're going to figure out where this needs to go. So I think what we want to do is put our this little strip can be right at the 2-inch mark. All right, so the first strip is going to be about 2 inches from the bottom. Make sure I'm straight. All right, and then I'm going to just use that to position these mats, which go all the way right against each other. Make sure that they're, you know, this one is directional. So I'm going to make sure that my trees are not upside down. Put this right on top. I can't really see that. All right, so that's the first one. Then we'll do the other side. The first, you know, the bottom piece is going to go about 2 inches from the bottom. So you're going to leave 2 inches of space, I guess, if that makes sense. Leave 2 inches of space. So it's right on the 2-inch line right here. And then of course on this side it's a 10. And then I want to do these the opposite way. So this one was wood, trees, wood. I'm going to do this one the opposite. So it's going to be trees, wood, trees. And then I'll take this piece and put it along the top. right, and that lined up just right. So, all right, so here are my 2 pieces, and then we're going to put the half circles so that they come all the way down to the mats, fairly close to the edge. This is maybe a 1/4 inch from the edge. But it aligns right here. And then this one, it's actually the same. We're actually doing the exact same thing. If you were to turn it right here, you'll see it's exactly the same that we're going to be doing with these circles. I'm curious about how many people who do project recipes, if you follow them exactly. You know, I do a project recipe night every month with my local customers, and we don't always follow the project recipes exactly. In fact, the one that I did a couple of months ago, the Coastal Shore, even when we put it together as a group, I did not follow my own directions. I went a little bit rogue, but that's okay. It's just a recipe. It's like any recipe. You can do your own thing. Okay, so here's the finished layout. Creative Memories did send me some pictures that I can use. I don't know who these kids are, but they did send me some very fun pictures. Actually, they sent me too many fun pictures. I think I want to do Mom and Dad. The kids. Oh, maybe I want this to be. I'm having struggled, even though it's not even my own kids. Well, we got Mom with the little boy in that hat. Oh, we don't have one with all of them together. That's kind of odd. So maybe we need Dad with the kid in the orange hat over here, although that one's really cute. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. And now I get to use my new photo trimmer. Here it is. It's so beautiful. All right, and we're gonna cut these pictures. They're 6 inches, 4 by 6, so we're gonna cut a 1/2 inch off. And I think this one I can just cut it off that side. So I'm gonna cut it to 3.5. This will be easy to cut to 3.5. This one, I want to keep it kind of centered, and if I cut it 3.5, I don't think that's going to work. So I'm just going to cut a smidge off here, and then cut it to 3.5. And don't forget to hold this plastic piece down to keep your photos from slipping or moving while you cut. And I have been told that this blade is super sharp, so when you grab it, make sure you don't grab it like from the blade side. Again, this one, 3.5. I don't want to cut it. I want to kind of keep him a little bit centered. Oh, they're so cute. I don't even know who these kids are, but I'm glad that I get to do their picture. Okay, this one I am also going to cut 1/4 inch off each side instead of this one. All right. Now, if you wanted to, you could absolutely, you know, fit a horizontal photo in here somewhere. We had these couple horizontal photos. You know, you could crop these photos a little shorter. Like these two little guys could be a little bit cropped down, and then I could put this under here. You know, I think that would still work. But I'm just going to go with the 6 vertical photos. And I don't know, I kind of think maybe I like the other color better for these particular photos. But let's do some gourds. We'll just use a little piece of repo in the middle for now. And then I'll play with them later and decide. I think because I used the leaf, they're kind of getting lost. All right, so now let's get our little gourd time. Gourd time. Is it supposed to be like good times? I don't know. I would have called it gourd times, but that wouldn't have made any sense either. And then we're going to punch just a few pieces from this. I kind of do like the wood grain gourds. Actually, what I like to do when I punch is to kind of figure out where the edge is. And I know I have a little bit of space between the two, so I'm going to punch kind of the edge of that little gourd and see. All right, we didn't overlap. So that'll give me a lot of gourds. I have some space left if I need some more. And then we'll take this yellow piece, and I won't be able to use the yellow side because obviously that's the color we're putting the base on. But I'll be able to get some pictures of them on the back. And if I need to, I can come back in here. This one, because you can see it from underneath. Like I can come in and see, okay, I can get those two little gourds. And they're going to be pretty because it's this pretty leaf paper. I'll do that one. So, you know, these tiny little gourds are a great way to use up, you know, every scrap of your extra paper. So we're going to make some little gourds. We'll do a little brown pumpkin. This tall guy. I like to do like a tall one, a small one. I can even use this little guy. And then I want to do this one different. Oh, I haven't used any of this. So this is that little one. Doesn't show up all that well. I use this tall guy. And this little colored one. And this colored one here. This is also a time when if you wanted to bring in some cardstock, you could absolutely bring in some cardstock to give you a little bit more variety in your little gourds. But you want to just kind of group them together. Have some fun colors. I think because I've got the big brown ones up there, I think they all need one of the big brown ones just for this. So if you're doing this with other people and they've got different papers from the paper pack, you know, if you're doing it in a group, this is a great time to swap some gourds with each other. This one. All right, I'm going to use my repo for this, and we'll just kind of stick these guys down. You also, if you have the sticker pack and you'd rather use the stickers, you absolutely could do that too. But I love being able to use the paper as an embellishment. It's kind of blending into that yellow background, I will say. We'll stick this guy down. I think I'll move that up a smidge. All right, so you probably didn't need to watch me do all that. Maybe I'll magically just have these be stuck down in just a second. All right, so now we've got some stickers, and I've used some of them already for the other one. I'm going to use it for the other, but I think we'll just embellish with a few little stickers. I like the little wood Adirondack chairs. I think look really fun with this. This has lots of little inside pieces to punch out. Oh, let's get this little guy off. two little chairs down here at the bottom. Probably no one would notice or care if I didn't get these little inside pieces out, but you guys know me. So, all right, so we'll put the two little chairs down here. It's very fun, a little comfy. And I like this little sign that says Pumpkin Patch Trail. Put that up here. And so like some of these little gourds you could use in here if you didn't want to use punches. I think we'll use a tree. I really like these trees on here. I think I'm going to put it under this little sign though. This guy's a little bit taller, so I'm going to tuck it behind the mat. Pumpkin Patch Trail. And some words. Apparently I've pulled out some of the words for a different layout already. I kind of like, well, I got the boots, Pumpkin Patch Trail. We'll do this autumn hike up here. All right, autumn hike. Okay, I think that's, oh, I need something else down here. I need something, wish I had a little heart. Look, there's some more of those little shapes. Are they seeds of an apple? They must be. I'll put thankful down here. All right. So here we go. This is our project recipe version number 2. I think I'm going to use the original to send into CM. So you guys will have seen version number 2, but I used their stickers, their pictures, which, you know, what they asked me to do. But I'm going to redo it with the other. So let me stick that one down, put the stickers on, and I'll come back and show you what that one's going to look like, all finished up, ready to send to CM. Okay, so here you go. I've moved the pictures back to my original layout, but hopefully watching how I put this one together will kind of show you the steps. I think I could have gone either way. I just think that these pictures ended up blending in with the background more than I expected for them to. And I gotta admit, I love this wood grain as a background. I did do a little journaling, made up because I don't know these people, but and I put the little crisp fall days here on some foam squares and this little square that says leaves are falling, autumn is calling, also on some foam squares. These other two, I didn't do any foam squares, but I think I think you could have if you wanted to for the words. So just whatever words match with you, but there you go. That is the Autumn Cottage project recipe. I think this would be super versatile. You could easily do this with a whole bunch of different layouts. In fact, maybe I will try and put it together with another layout. Let me put it together with another layout. It won't have pictures on it, I don't think. But we'll put it together with another layout and let you see how it would look, not as a fall themed layout. Okay, so I just had a couple pieces left of this Feeling Bright paper that was from one of our secret boxes. One of them was the clouds and suns with the gray diagonal stripes. The other was the suns with this kind of white grid on the back. So I used a solid cardstock for my base. I need something to go in here, but I don't know what. I think I could even maybe do some little tiny circle pictures, might be cute. And if I did that, I might even go like do a couple across. I don't know, but I think it looks totally different, but it's that same basic concept. So you could use this project recipe, like any of them. You could use them for any theme. I also have these little stickers that maybe I could put, I don't know, I was thinking about a sticker or something along the sides. It just got to be too much, but with the cardstock behind, maybe it's not quite so much. But Anyway, lots of fun things you can do with this particular layout for the Autumn Cottage project recipe.